What's going on, guys? My name is JK, and in this video, welcome to the first edition of Ranting Wednesday. In the UK, the past few years, there have been some amazing but very expensive events and celebrations, and we're talking about sort of the last 2-3 years here. So one of the first ones was the royal wedding, which happened on the 29th of April 2011, I think. I've only got 29th of April here, which costs 20 million, not including the revenue lost from the companies that closed because they had like a public holiday so everyone could watch it, or if you were off at the time, say in a school, they kind of bunged an extra day on the end of whatever holiday it was. So in April it would be these Easter holidays. So I suppose a happy 2-year anniversary. Almost. I mean, 20 million, I mean, I know it happens very rarely, but even so, my God, that's a lot. I mean, $1 million is a lot of money. I mean, you never know, that church, St. Paul's, might be like $1 million to book. It's ridiculous. But I mean, half that, and it'd be more acceptable, but 20's, bloody hell. And we also have the 2012 Olympic Games, which cost 15 billion. It was actually originally budgeted for 4 billion, which I think, you know, quite acceptable. I mean, 8 I would say was acceptable. Let's kind of put that forward. And I was looking somewhere, and the Victor's Village, that's not what it's called. That's the Hunger Games, but whatever like the kind of basically like a big hotel, but loads of different things for all the people who went to the games, like all the contestants. That almost cost $1 billion just to make that, and I think the stadium cost something like 4. Like they blow the whole budget for the whole thing just on the stadium, and that stadium I don't think's used anymore. Or I think they're still in talks about which football club's going to get it, which London football club's going to get it, which seems a little bit. I mean, they have Wembley. I know this is going to be made into a football club with a rain track around the edge. That just doesn't make any sense. And then the idea is that if they want to put like the jumpy over thing, the high jump, they can just they have holes in the ground that they can put it in. I mean, it just seems like they've done it and now they're thinking, oh dear, we've spent all this money and I'm not going to use it anymore. Another thing which most countries have. Which actually, speaking of fireworks, the Beijing Olympics cost 42 billion. A bloody hell of fire. That's all I'm saying. That's ridiculous. So the fireworks of the New Year's celebrations, which are between 2 and 7 million every year, they seem to go up something like about 750,000 every year, because they try and do better and because prices are generally going up, and it's ridiculous. I mean, they're usually not very good. I mean, these last 3, like from 2010, 2011, I'm talking about going into each year. So into 2010 was all right. I think that was the first one I watched, and there was kind of loads of music kind of mixed together, and it was really good. The 2011 one, going into 2011, had like some weird songs about like hope and stuff, and really sort of gospel stuff, with the guy who announced like the Games Award to London on it. And it's like, that's in 2011. I can understand something like that in 2012, but why in 2011? And they did a similar thing in 2012. I don't think it was too bad in 2011. I think there was kind of a mention of it, but not too bad. 2011 was the gospel one. Kind of got it the wrong way around. Sort of big gospel. Why would anyone, you know, sort of like it? So then we had the Olympics, and then going into this year, it was very sort of like at the end of all the races when the commentators were like, oh, it's an amazing race, and all sort of that stuff mixed over kind of more happier, recent music type of thing. And it was just like, these really aren't good shows, and the fireworks just are almost the same every single year. I mean, it's ridiculous. And now, if you haven't heard, Baroness Thatcher, the old Prime Minister, has died, and her funeral's going to cost 10 million, which is ridiculous, especially as she's divided so many people. I'm surprised that there aren't people going ballistic when that was found out, because like they've lost them loads of money and they've continued paying taxes, and now the taxes are going on a 10 million funeral for someone who ruined their lives. So, I mean, I'm not bothered because I wasn't even born when she was around, but even so, I mean, I can understand why some people are really peed off at it. I mean, the only other people who recently had a funeral which cost like a massive amount, because they say this is going to be like a funeral like the Queen Mother's. I don't know why I presume the Queen's Mother, so that's why she's called the Queen Mother, but I don't know why she didn't have a name. I have no idea what a name is, that's the thing I should have researched really. But like, she had one, and us, which I can kind of understand, it's a royal family member who was the old Queen, so like, I can understand. Well, she wasn't the old Queen, she was like she was the person, who married the King, and the King died, so Elizabeth became the Queen, and the Queen's mother just kind of sat there saying and waving. Like, she's basically then lost all her power. So it's the same thing as if the Queen was to die, the Prince Charles, is he called? I don't know. Basically, the Queen's husband would just kind of sit on the side, and like he would kind of like lose all his. Didn't really have any powers anyway, but he'd kind of lose his sort of royalty, and he'd just kind of sit on the side, not doing anything. Now the other one was Churchill. Now I understand that because he managed to get us through a war. I mean, Margaret Thatcher got us through a war, and the only thing I can kind of say is, the only thing that I'd say is good about it is the fact she saved the country because it was in economic decline, but now we're in it again, and terrible. So yeah, Winston Churchill I can understand the Queen Mother. This one I can't really. I mean, I'd imagine because she was the first and so far only female Prime Minister of the UK, I can imagine that Barack Obama would have a fairly large send-off because he was the first black president, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had a statue. I mean, I probably won't be around then because he's not that much. I mean, what, is he about 40? I'm 15, so I mean, I don't know. You know, but it's one of those things where I can understand, but it should have been amazing to everybody, then I can understand it a lot more, basically. So that's it for the first Ranting Wednesday. I mean, I've kind of ranted about all of them, but the one thing is when we're struggling as a country, why are we putting so much money into things? I mean, I remember on the Eurovision, when Greece came second, the president apparently was watching it and sighed, and because they knew that their country couldn't support it at all. Because like, I think the one when they were in Germany, where they came second, cost something like 2 billion, and they haven't even got that money at all. Like, if they took everyone's money, they couldn't pay for it, or something ridiculous like that. That's a country that understands what they're doing, and I wish this country would kind of do the same. So thanks for watching. If you did like this video, remember to click that like button down below. Comment about other things I should rant about. And subscribe if you're new to the channel for more great videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thanks for watching, and cheerio.